Hey, Alex Berman here from Experiment 27. $9 million in leads generated for mobile app agencies and over $2 million in B2B sales. So today's question is, how do you remotivate yourself after a harsh call? A lot of sales is going through the process of getting turned down. And in this video, I want to go through three specific calls that happened in the last 3-4 months that didn't go too well, and basically go over some tactics you can use to keep moving even when things don't go your way. In terms of numbers, I close maybe 4 out of the 5 calls that I'm on. And very rarely, especially if they're inbound leads, are you going to get someone that says they're completely not interested in your product. But every once in a while, an inbound lead does slip through the cracks, and it's kind of off-putting. Let's start with the first one. It was a South African client. Basically, they are in South Africa, I'm in the United States, so they had to book a time at a very weird time of day. It was like 4 in the morning. So I stayed up till 4 in the morning, got on this call with them, pitched my service, and basically they just said they weren't interested. And I just felt really bummed out. What I did in that scenario, since it was so early, was I just went to sleep and slept through it. I woke up in the morning, still felt kind of bummed, but I had other meetings lined up that day. So first thing that you can do to recover is have a lot of meetings lined up. You can do that by sending cold emails if your inbound marketing channels aren't working. There are plenty of videos on this channel on how to set those up. I try to aim for at least 10 new business meetings a week. Assuming you close, 40 to 60% of those, your business or your quota will become a joke. Basically, you'll destroy any numbers you put out there. So do that. Second story was, there was a US-based client. This was back when I was selling lead generation with InspireBeats. There was a client that wanted lead generation software as a service, and we did a managed service, right? Like we did outsourced prospecting and lead generation that way when they just wanted a tool. So this call basically was on the calendar for about a week. He booked about a week in advance, and within a minute, he was like, "Oh, we were looking for SaaS," and he just hung up the phone immediately. And what I did in that scenario was I felt startled. Right? My calendar now had about 29 minutes of time blocked out that I couldn't take advantage of. What I did then was I actually just went and sat on the couch and played Grand Theft Auto. I took a break from work, tried to distract myself with video games, and use that time that way. Point number 2, take a break if you have to. When I was working full-time in an office before I started nomading around, I would actually go out. It was our office in New York. I would go all the way down to the street level and just walk around the block a couple times to just kind of reset. As a salesperson, you don't really want to carry that vibe of I just blew that deal to your next call. You always want to make sure that you're coming off as fairly confident, at least in the solution that you're providing. And one way to reset is just to walk around the block that way. The third one was it was a client from another country, and they wanted 2 weeks free of the product. Basically, they kept talking about free trials. They kept talking about getting discounts. This is probably the hardest type of rejection you're going to come up with, right? Because here is a client that gets your value, right? They understand, they've heard your entire pitch, and they have all of the reasons to say yes, but they want some absurd break on the price. And I was forced to tell them, no, we don't do the trials. And they walked away from the deal. But it was a little easier to recover because I took control and I told them no. Whereas in similar situations, I've given discounts to clients and cut deals only to have them refund a couple weeks later, or not take the deal even after I give them a steep discount, which is basically why I stopped discounting entirely. And that felt worse. So coping mechanism number 3 is take the reins. Don't be afraid to fire a client or pull yourself out of a situation with a prospect if you feel like they're not going to be a good fit for you. And taking some of that power away from them is going to help remotivate you and keep you going. So those are the 3. Hope you enjoyed them. And if you like this type of video content, make sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube. If you want more sales content like this, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Alex Berman from Experiment 27. If you need marketing support for your agency, check us out, experiment27.co, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.